Right, we're running on all three. So let's speak a little bit about, like I said, LLCs, S corps, C corps, what the differences are, and who needs what, and how a small business might benefit with one, or you know, anything else like that. I'm just kind of new to the whole thing, so that's whatever you know, whatever you got, it's gonna help me.
Okay. Whenever you're starting a company, there's various ways you can structure your company. A lot of times when you start off, you can start off as a sole proprietor, and a lot of companies are sole proprietorships. The reason you probably don't want to have a sole proprietorship because you're legally liable for anything that may happen with a company. So you want to structure of some sort. There's definitely a cost to it. A lot of it you can do it yourself, you can Google the information, but you can find out. Now, depending on what your needs are, you can go whether it be an LLC, a C Corp, or an S Corp. There's LLPs, but those are limited liability partners, and usually lawyers, and I believe sometimes you have doctors' offices or partnerships that are, doctors usually do that, but typically it's for law firms. So you probably are looking at LLC, you're probably looking at C Corp, and you're probably looking at S Corp. Now, what are the differences between the three? LLCs, again, it depends on your structure of what your needs are. Usually you have a manager, and then the rest are members. So you have a managing member, a managing manager, or a managing member, and then you have the members. The managing partner in an LLC manages the day-to-day operations. Now, this person could be either a CEO, president, you can name it whatever you want, or you just keep the structure as it is. So you don't have to necessarily have anything, and then that person either hires other people to run the business or runs the business himself, depending on how big the company is. But again, it all depends on your circumstance, and you really want to do your homework and do in lieu of that. We can help you with that, or you can talk to an attorney. Now, with a C Corp and an S Corp, anytime you file with the state and the federal, you have what is called an EIN number, Employee Identification Number. That number is basically what you have, is basically your social security for your business. You can have that, or you file with the federal government. Then you file obviously with the state. Federal tax board can do that, whether you're in California, Delaware, whatever state you are, you got to file. Fees are different for each specific state. So you probably want to check, and you can Google that to find out what the fees are with the state. Then you go ahead and you file with that, and then you, again, as I mentioned, you'll file with the federal government. When you initially file, any corporation you set up is usually what's called a C Corp. In order to become an S Corp, you got to file what's called an SS4. And what that is essentially allowing you to become an S Corp. And what that is, it's a flow through in terms of corporate. So the first couple of years, you're going to have taxes because you're going to have a lot of losses. You can have the losses flow through the individual owner of the company. Or you can have the C Corp. Now, there's fundamental difference between the C Corp and the S Corp, and we can go into in various different ways, but it all depends on your need. And there's various reasons why people choose a C Corp, various reasons why people choose the S Corp. C Corps is usually when you're trying to raise money. If you look at the major corporations in the United States, you'll notice that when they're big, they're usually C Corps. You can take the company public, you can have outside investors. There's no limit to how many investors you can have. With an S Corp, you have a limit in terms of how many investors you can have. I believe it's 100 or less. With a C Corp, unlimited. Also with the S Corp, all owners have to be United States citizens or US citizens. With a C Corp, you could be foreign, you don't have to be necessarily a United States citizens, and you can actually own a C Corp. So there are various different ways to do it, but you want to definitely make sure you do your homework, want to look at what your needs are. Are you a restaurant? Usually restaurants that, have a specific structure given what they're doing. If you're bringing on investors, are there going to be local investors? Are you trying to get big? Are you trying to raise money? And if you are, how much money are you trying to raise? Based on all the different factors, you want to go ahead and kind of structure your company a certain way. Now, you can always change the structure. You can start off as an LLC and then go to a C Corp or an S Corp to a C Corp, or vice versa. Whatever your needs are, so you can always change the structure. But I always tell people you want to start with the end in mind. What is it that you're looking for long term? Not necessarily short term, but long term. Where are you going? Where are you taking the company? Are you looking to have an exit strategy? Are you looking to take it public? Are you looking to have someone else buy you out? Do you want a lifestyle brand or a lifestyle company? and what a lifestyle company is, where you actually make money and you live off the profits of your company. So you don't have to necessarily bring in investors. You could just make, for example, $20,000 a month, then you live off $15,000, and then the rest goes back in the company to run it. That's a lifestyle. Now, if you're looking to bring on investors and take it public, that's a whole different story. So again, you just got to make sure you know what the end goal is. And once you understand, or you realize, or you figured out what the end goal is, then you can figure out what structure you need to have for your company.